You mean to tell me these primitives accidentally discovered quantum entanglement while trying to make better coffee? High Commander Zixtal's facial tentacles writhed in disbelief as he stared at the holographic report hovering before him. Yes, sir. Science Officer Vendra clicked her mandibles nervously. According to our surveillance, a human physicist named Dr. Sarah Chen was attempting to perfect the extraction process for something they call espresso, when she noticed quantum-level anomalies in the molecular structure of heated water passing through compressed coffee grounds. Preposterous! Zixtal slammed all four of his appendages onto his command console. We spent 3 centuries developing quantum communication technology, and these hairless apes stumble upon it while pursuing their caffeine addiction. The bridge of the Galactic Federation flagship, Eternal Wisdom, fell silent as the crew processed this latest intelligence about Earth. Humans had been under observation for decades, classified as a pre-FTL civilization that wasn't ready for contact. But lately, they'd been making technological leaps that defied all logical progression models. Sir, Vendra continued, her exoskeleton plates shifting uncomfortably. That's not all. Remember last month's report about them achieving room temperature superconductivity? Don't remind me, Zixtal groaned. Another accident, wasn't it? Yes, sir. A graduate student was trying to create a better pizza oven heating element. The High Commander's tentacles drooped in resignation. Of course they were. And the month before that, they cracked practical fusion containment while trying to make the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. Zixtal finished. I remember the report. The human in question claimed the breakthrough came when he was really high and craving maximum melt. He made air quotes with his secondary tentacles, a gesture the Federation had unfortunately picked up from human broadcasts. Science Officer Vendra pulled up another holographic display, this one showing a timeline of human scientific achievements over the past 5 years. Sir, the pattern is undeniable. Humans appear to make their most significant scientific breakthroughs while pursuing improvements to their food and beverage consumption. But why? Zixtal demanded. Zixtal, how can a species be simultaneously so random, and yet so effective? Our xenopsychologists have a theory, Vendra offered. It appears humans have evolved to be most creative and innovative when motivated by immediate personal comfort rather than grand scientific pursuits. You're telling me they're advancing faster than any known species in the galaxy because they're lazy? Not lazy, sir. Efficient. They seem to have an extraordinary talent for finding shortcuts and unexpected solutions, primarily driven by their desire to make everyday tasks more convenient. Zixtal floated in silence for a moment, his hover chair humming softly as he contemplated this information. What are they working on now? Vendra pulled up yet another hologram, this one showing a busy laboratory in Seattle. Dr. Chen, the quantum coffee scientist, is currently attempting to create what she calls the perfect breakfast sandwich. And? Zixtal prompted, dreading the answer. Our projections suggest she'll accidentally discover unified field theory within the next 3 weeks. The High Commander's tentacles went limp. 3 weeks? It took the Arcturians 10,000 years to develop unified field theory. Yes, sir. Apparently Dr. Chen is very motivated. Something about morning commutes and not having time to sit down and eat. Zixtal slumped in his hover chair. First contact protocols dictate we must establish diplomatic relations with any civilization that develops unified field theory independently. That is correct, sir. Which means in 3 weeks we'll have to officially welcome humans into the Galactic Federation. Yes, sir. Though... Vendra hesitated. Though what? Well, there's another human, a line cook in New Jersey, who's trying to create a hangover cure smoothie. Our analysts give him a 60% chance of accidentally discovering immortality in the process. Zixtal stared at his science officer for a long moment, before activating his desk's drink dispenser and pouring himself a triple shot of Centaurian brandy. Keep monitoring the situation, and perhaps we should begin preparing a diplomatic welcome package, something with their favorite beverages. Already on it, sir. I've taken the liberty of stocking our diplomatic corps with something humans call energy drinks. Though I should warn you, our medical team is still trying to determine how the humans survive consuming them. The High Commander took a long drink from his glass. Have we at least figured out why they named their planet Dirt? Actually, sir. Vendra's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. That's another interesting story. You see, they were trying to make better fertilizer for their tomatoes when they discovered— Stop! Zixtal held up all 4 hands. Just stop. I don't want to know. Send a message to Central Command. Tell them to prepare for human integration into the Federation. And add a personal note. Warning. Nothing makes sense anymore. Yes, sir. Oh, and one more thing. What now? A teenager in Tokyo just invented a new way to heat up instant noodles. Should I route the quantum physics implications to your personal terminal? Or would you prefer to remain in denial for a few more hours? Zixtal poured another drink. Route it to my terminal. But first, get me everything we have on this coffee substance. If we're going to deal with humans, I suspect we'll need to understand their primary fuel source. Right away, sir. Though I feel I should mention that coffee was actually discovered when a goat herder noticed his goats acting strangely after eating certain berries. Of course it was. Zixtal muttered. Of course it was. 3 weeks later, as predicted, Dr. Sarah Chen successfully unified quantum mechanics and general relativity while trying to keep her breakfast sandwich warm during her morning commute. The resulting paper, titled A Unified Field Theory of Breakfast Sandwich Heat Distribution and Its Implications for the Fundamental Forces of the Universe, was published simultaneously in Nature, Science, and Cooking Light. The day after publication, a massive Federation diplomatic fleet appeared in orbit around Earth. Their first official message was broadcast globally. Greetings, humans. We come in peace and bring coffee. Please explain how you do. Gestures vaguely at everything. All of this. Humanity's official response, drafted by Dr. Chen herself between bites of a perfectly warmed breakfast sandwich, was simple. Oh, we just kind of wing it. Want to grab brunch and talk about it? And that's how humanity joined the Galactic Federation. Not with a bang, not with a whimper, but with a perfectly toasted breakfast sandwich and a really good cup of coffee. The Federation never quite got used to humanity's peculiar approach to scientific advancement, but they did learn to appreciate the results. Within a year of joining the galactic community, humans had revolutionized faster-than-light travel, while trying to deliver pizza across solar systems, solved the problem of artificial gravity, in an attempt to create the perfect zero-G martini, and discovered several fundamental particles previously unknown to science, during an ill-advised attempt to microwave a burrito for exactly the right amount of time. High Commander Zixtal eventually retired, citing an inability to cope with human logic. His final report to Central Command consisted of a single sentence. They don't know what they're doing, they don't know how they're doing it, but somehow they're doing it better than anyone else ever has. His replacement, coincidentally, was the first Federation official to try espresso. She immediately ordered the installation of coffee makers on all Federation vessels, declaring them essential to understanding human methodology. When asked about this decision, she simply replied, "Have you tried their coffee? Everything makes so much more sense after coffee." The Federation's official historical records now list Earth's admission to the galactic community under the heading, The Breakfast Sandwich Incident, when human scientific achievements outsmarted the alien Federation by not really trying to. A copy of Dr. Chen's paper hangs in the Federation's Hall of Scientific Achievement, right next to her award-winning breakfast sandwich recipe. Both are considered required reading for all xenoanthropology students. And as for that line cook in New Jersey, he did eventually create his hangover cure smoothie. It didn't grant immortality as predicted, but it did accidentally solve the problem of faster-than-light communication. He called it the morning after messenger. The Federation simply called it impossible, filed it under typical human solutions, and added it to their growing list of things they'd stopped trying to explain. The Federation's current official policy on human scientific achievements reads, "Don't ask how, don't ask why. Just be grateful they're on our side and keep them well supplied with coffee." Humanity, meanwhile, continues to stumble upon revolutionary scientific breakthroughs while pursuing increasingly mundane goals. Last week, a food truck owner in Portland accidentally discovered a way to traverse parallel universes while trying to perfect her fish taco recipe. But that's another story. With all due respect, High Commander, I don't think you understand the severity of the situation. Admiral Carax's holographic projection flickered as he gestured toward a series of data streams. The human with the fish tacos? Lisa Martinez, the new High Commander Talara interjected while sipping her morning espresso. After 6 months in the position, she'd learned that knowing humans' names was crucial to understanding their chaos. Yes, Lisa Martinez, Carax continued, mandibles twitching in irritation, has not only discovered parallel universe travel, she's now franchising it. Talara nearly spat out her coffee. She's what? Franchising. It's a human business concept where... I know what franchising is, Admiral. We've all studied the McDonald's incident of 2025. Talara shuddered slightly. The Federation was still trying to understand how a fast food chain had accidentally created the first stable artificial intelligence while attempting to optimize their drive-through algorithm. What I want to know is how she's franchising parallel universe travel. She's calling it Multiverse Munchies, where every universe is local. Carax pulled up an advertising hologram showing a cheerful food truck with the slogan, "Fish tacos so good they break reality," floating beneath it. Talara took another long sip of coffee. Explain. According to our intelligence, Ms. Martinez discovered that the specific combination of spices she uses in her fish tacos, when heated to exactly 173.5 degrees Celsius, creates a localized quantum tunneling effect. Customers can literally take a bite in one universe and swallow in another. And she's selling this technology? No, Commander, she's selling tacos. The parallel universe travel is, and I quote, a free side with any combo meal. Talara stared at her empty coffee cup, seriously considering switching to something stronger. How many franchises are we talking about? She's approved 27 so far. There's currently a waiting list of over 10,000 potential franchisees, including, somewhat alarmingly, 3 members of the Federation's Science Council. The Science Council? The same people who said parallel universe travel was theoretically impossible? Yes, apparently they tried the tacos. Talara rubbed her temples with her secondary appendages. What's the worst that could happen? Well, Carax consulted his notes. We've identified several potential scenarios. Best case, she's created a stable network of interdimensional food trucks that will revolutionize both quantum physics and casual dining. Worst case, the space-time continuum develops acid reflux. That's not actually possible, is it? Commander, with all due respect, 6 months ago we didn't think it was possible to traverse parallel universes using fish tacos. I don't think we should make any assumptions about what is or isn't possible when it comes to humans and food service. Just then, a junior officer burst into the command center, their bioluminescent spots flashing in excitement. Commander, you need to see this. Please don't tell me someone else has made a cosmic breakthrough with fast food. Talara groaned. No, ma'am, it's worse. Remember Dr. Chen, the quantum coffee scientist? Of course. Her unified field theory is required reading now. Well, she just opened a coffee shop. Talara felt a cold dread settle in her primary stomach. And? The first customer who tried her new quantum cappuccino briefly achieved enlightenment and solved the 3-body problem on a napkin, with a crayon. Carax's hologram flickered as he processed this information. A crayon? It was all they had on hand, but that's not the worst part. How is that not the worst part? Talara demanded. The coffee shop is next door to Lisa Martinez's original food truck location. There was a moment of absolute silence in the command center. Are you telling me, Talara said slowly, that we now have quantum coffee and interdimensional fish tacos operating within 50 meters of each other? Yes, Commander, and they're talking about a collaboration. Talara immediately activated her emergency comm channel. Get me Central Command. Tell them we need to convene an emergency session of the Federation Council. And someone get me the number for that New Jersey line cook who solved FTL communication. If anyone can handle this situation, it's probably someone who understands both hangovers and quantum mechanics. Already done, Commander. Though you should know he's currently working on something he calls a breakfast burrito that will blow your mind. Literally or figuratively? Given humanity's track record, possibly both. Talara turned to her Admiral's flickering hologram. Carax, remember when we thought allowing humans into the Federation would help us understand them better? Yes, Commander. We were such sweet summer children then, weren't we? Indeed, Commander. Though I feel compelled to point out that sweet summer children is a human phrase. I know. I picked it up at the same time I got addicted to coffee. Talara sighed and turned to her command console. Update the Federation's official policy on human scientific achievements. Add the following addendum. Under no circumstances should human food service workers be allowed to collaborate without proper quantum containment protocols in place. Yes, Commander. Though, Dr. Chen and Ms. Martinez have already scheduled their first meeting. They're calling it a taste test of the multiverse. Talara stared at her empty coffee cup one more time before making a decision. Clear my schedule. If humans are going to accidentally rewrite the laws of physics again, I want to be there to try the sample menu. Is that wise, Commander? Probably not. But have you tried the fish tacos? They really are reality-breaking good. And so, As the Federation scrambled to establish new protocols for dealing with culinary-induced scientific breakthroughs, humanity continued doing what it did best, solving impossible problems in improbable ways while trying to make their snacks slightly more convenient. The collaboration between Dr. Chen and Ms. Martinez eventually led to the creation of what they called Schrödinger's Food Court, a dining establishment that existed simultaneously in all possible universes while maintaining consistent quality control across the multiverse. The Federation's physicists were still trying to figure out how it worked, but the Yelp reviews were stellar in every dimension. Meanwhile, that breakfast burrito that would blow your mind? It did exactly that, but in a way that temporarily granted anyone who ate it the ability to understand all languages, including those not yet invented. The Federation immediately classified it as a Class 1 linguistic paradox and added it to the menu in their diplomatic corps cafeteria. The Federation's xenolinguists are still debating whether the burrito's effects count as a proper first contact protocol. But as one human diplomat pointed out, if you can share a meal together, you can probably work everything else out. Talara, for her part, has started requiring all Federation officials to take what she calls human logic training, which consists primarily of trying to order lunch from various human food establishments without accidentally discovering something that violates the known laws of physics. The current success rate is 12%. They're having a what? The Federation Council chamber erupted in alarmed clicks, whistles, and tentacle waving. High Commander Talara maintained her composure, though her grip on her quantum cappuccino, extra shot dimensional stability on the side, tightened noticeably. A potluck. It's a human social gathering where everyone brings a dish to share. We know what a potluck is. Council Elder Vexnor's crystalline form sparkled with agitation. What we want to know is why Earth's top scientific minds are having one inside the Large Hadron Collider. Apparently, Talara consulted her tablet. They wanted a cool venue for their quarterly Accidental Discoveries Support Group meeting. The council chamber fell silent except for the soft hum of hover chairs and the occasional nervous mandible click. Let me make sure I understand this correctly, Elder Vexnor continued. Dr. Chen, the quantum coffee physicist? Yes. Lisa Martinez, the interdimensional food truck operator? Correct. That New Jersey line cook who solved FTL communication? Greg Stevens, yes. And now they've invited that Portland food blogger who achieved temporal manipulation while trying to perfect her sourdough starter? Emily Wong, Talara nodded. She found a way to make bread rise in negative time. Quite impressive, actually. Though it does mean you have to eat the bread before you bake it, which takes some getting used to. And they're all bringing dishes to share? Along with about 50 other humans who've made significant scientific breakthroughs through cooking in the past year. Elder Vexnor's crystalline structure vibrated in distress. Do we have any idea what they're planning to bring? Dr. Chen is working on something she calls time-dilated tea eggs. Apparently, they age for 1,000 years in the time it takes to boil water. Ms. Martinez is bringing her new quantum queso that exists in a superposition of mild and spicy until you taste it. And Mr. Stevens... Talara checked her notes again and winced. Mr. Stevens is experimenting with something he calls fusion fajitas. Actual nuclear fusion? He claims it's just a garnish. The council chamber erupted again, this time with multiple species speaking simultaneously in various stages of panic. Order! Elder Vexnor's crystalline voice cut through the chaos. High Commander, what are the potential consequences of this gathering? Talara pulled up a holographic projection. Our scientists have run several simulations. Best case scenario. They all have a lovely meal and only discover 3 or 4 fundamental laws of physics we didn't know existed. Worst case scenario. She paused, double-checking the data. Worst case, they accidentally create a new form of cuisine that violates causality itself. And the probability of the worst case scenario? Given humanity's track record, our analysts are calling it practically inevitable. Just then, Talara's emergency communicator chimed. She answered it, listened for a moment, then slowly lowered her head to her desk. What is it? Elder Vexnor demanded. Emily Wong just posted on something called Instagram. Apparently she's decided to bring her experimental probability pasta. And, according to the post, it's pasta that exists in all possible flavor combinations simultaneously until you take a bite, at which point it collapses into the exact thing you didn't know you were craving. A collective groan echoed through the chamber. That's not even the worst part, Talara continued. She's collaborating with a quantum physicist who's been trying to solve the grandfather paradox. Why would a quantum physicist be interested in pasta? Apparently, she's gluten intolerant and really misses spaghetti. Elder Vaxner's crystalline form dimmed slightly. High Commander, what are our options? Well, we could try to stop them, Talara began. But the last time we tried to regulate human food science, a teenager in Mumbai discovered anti-gravity while trying to make the perfect grilled cheese sandwich in 0G. Apparently, she was tired of her sandwich floating away during space station simulation camp. So we just let them have their potluck? I've assigned our best quantum observers to monitor the situation. They'll be disguised as food critics. Food critics? Is that wise? It's the only cover story that would explain why they're taking so many notes. Besides, humans seem physically incapable of making groundbreaking discoveries when they know they're being watched by scientists. But put them in front of a food critic, and they'll rewrite the laws of thermodynamics just to get a better Yelp review. The council chamber buzzed with worried murmurs. There is one other thing, Talara added hesitantly. What now? They've hired a bartender. Elder Vaxner's crystalline structure nearly cracked. What kind of bartender? A molecular mixologist who's been experimenting with something called quantum cocktails. Apparently, each drink has a half-life. A half-life? Like radioactive decay? No, like it's half in this universe and half in another until you drink it. She calls it Schrodinger's happy hour. The council was silent for a long moment before Elder Vexenor spoke again. High Commander, do you remember the old days, before we discovered Earth, when physics made sense? Vaguely. Talara sipped her quantum cappuccino. Though I have to admit, reality is a lot more interesting now. Terrifying, but interesting. Indeed. What's your recommendation? Talara stood, straightening her uniform. I suggest we implement protocol HFY. The Humanity Fuck Yeah protocol, are you sure? Yes. Full implementation. We monitor, we document, and we keep the Federation's best physicists on standby. But most importantly, yes, we make dinner reservations. Because whatever they discover at this potluck will probably be available in food courts across the galaxy by next week. The Council voted unanimously to approve the recommendation, with one addendum. All Federation diplomatic vessels were to be equipped with antacids rated for interdimensional use. Meanwhile, in the Large Hadron Collider's newly designated Potluck Particle Acceleration Zone, humanity's most accidentally brilliant minds were gathering. Dr. Chen had already set up her quantum coffee station, the temporal waves from her brewing process causing nearby clocks to run backwards. Lisa Martinez's food truck was simultaneously parked in 17 different quantum states, each serving a slightly different version of her reality-breaking tacos. And Greg Stevens was carefully adjusting the containment field around his fusion fajitas, muttering something about getting the kick just right. Emily Wong arrived last, her probability pasta swirling with possibilities in a quantum-sealed container. As she set it down on the potluck table, several Federation observers disguised as food critics noticed their reality-measuring instruments beginning to smoke. The last thing Talara heard before the event horizon of culinary chaos reached critical mass was a human saying, "Hey, has anyone tried combining the quantum coffee with the probability pasta? I bet that would be interesting." The Federation's official report on what happened next is still classified, but witnesses say it was delicious.